Hello. I am on my way to an appointment and I apologize for the car video, but I have tried to film a video to catch up for weeks now and it just has not worked. And the last one that I did, my kids just kept interrupting and by the time I went to try and edit the video and break it down and cut all the annoying kid interruptions out, it was just like, it was still so choppy and garbage. So I'm just gonna do it in one shot here on my way to my appointment. So I am 32 weeks. I have not done a video for a long time because, like I said, nothing just worked out. I'd try and do a video and then something else would happen or just wouldn't be good timing. But a lot has happened since my last appointment, and the biggest thing that has happened is that I was diagnosed. So I went in, well, I guess I kind of gave it away, maybe. But I went in to do my 1-hour glucose test, and I failed that. And I was pretty out of the standard range. Like, I looked at my lab results and was like, oh man, yep, like, they're gonna want me to come back. So that was whatever day, I don't know, a Friday or something. And then they called me on Monday and they're like, yep, so you were out of the standard range, and so we need you to come back in and do the 3-hour glucose test, which I was not happy about because 3 hours is a long fucking time to sit there and do nothing. And especially right now, like during COVID times, I really want to sit in the clinic for 3 hours or more. No, thank you. And furthermore, the last time when I passed the 1-hour test with Isla, so I never had to worry about that with her. And then with Turi, I did not pass the 1 hour, and I had to take the 3-hour, and I passed that with him, thank God. But that still sucked. And afterwards, I came home and I did not feel good. I remember not feeling good on the drive home, very nauseous, like I was gonna throw up. I had stopped at the store to grab a bunch of snacks because I just was so hungry and wanted everything under the sun. And I wanted to eat when I got home then. But when I got home, I made it in the door, and I remember just laying on the floor in the kitchen, like on the cold floor, and telling Cullen that I did not feel good. I just need to lay here. Like, I'm nauseous, dizzy, all the stuff. So I really wasn't looking forward to doing the 3-hour test this time either, because I don't want to do that again. Like, all of these things combined, just not interested. But gotta do what you gotta do. And so I go in. Luckily, they decided that they were only gonna do 2 hours because of COVID, and they let me go sit in my car in between tests. I just had to come in around, they would tell me like, okay, you gotta be back like at 2 o'clock or whatever, and okay. So I do that. But I'm checking my labs like every single, every few hours I'm going back on my chart to see if my lab results are in. And when they finally come in, my 1-hour test was out of the standard range, but not by much. And then my 2-hour mark, I was fine. And they said that I still, and then they're like, well, you still failed. And I'm like, well, obviously I guess I don't get, and I'm not going to fight it, like, it is what it is, but I don't understand the reasoning behind that. Like, I don't understand how they determine, like, if after 2 hours I was fine, but that doesn't matter to you, like, you're only focusing on the 1 hour, then why do we even do a fucking 3-hour or a 2-hour test? If you're only caring about the 1 hour number, then why do we do anything else? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And of course I'm going to fail the 1 hour if you are feeding me, like if at the original 1 hour test, you're giving me, I don't even know what it is. I don't know what like the amount is. I'm just going to say 50 milligrams, but it's not milligrams, I don't think. It's something else. So let's just say you're giving me 50 milligrams or 50 grams of sugar in that first 1 hour test, and I bomb it. Okay, why on earth do you think that I would pass a 1 hour test again if you gave me an increased amount of sugar, like 75 or 100, whatever it is? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me either. I get that they're like doing these tests, but part of me is like, clearly I'm gonna fail the 1 hour. But if that's all you care about, and you don't care about the 2 hour or the 3 hour number, which I was under and probably would have been way under at the third hour, then why even bother? Like, why are we wasting anybody's time and money and resources? Whatever. So they call me back again, and they're like, yep, and I took that test on a Saturday. And they call me again on Monday. Yep, so it looks like you have gestational diabetes. Which I'm like, son of a bitch. But get this. So this is what the lady says. And I'm going to talk to my doctor about this today, because I've got a lot of feelings about this whole situation. The nurse on the phone, and I know it's not her fault, like, she's just the messenger. But she calls and she says, hi, Rachel. So you came in and you did your glucose test the other day, and it looks like you did not pass, and you are showing signs of having gestational diabetes. And I know it seems like this crazy, horrible thing, but I tell people this all the time. I have to talk to people about this all the time, and it's really not that big of a deal. You'll have to give yourself insulin and check your blood sugars 4 times a day, and it's only for a few weeks, so it's not forever. Where would you like your supplies sent? Which pharmacy would be best for you? And then I clear up the pharmacy info, and that's that. And then she says, so you'll have to meet with a diabetic nurse and a dietitian. So when do you want to make those appointments? And this is all like in one phone call. And like, for somebody who doesn't know what gestational diabetes is and is totally shocked, like, I don't know what this means. And so you're sitting there telling me, now within, a few minutes of a phone call, you've told me that I have some, I don't know, disease or something. Like, I don't know what it is. You're telling me, and this is also somebody who hates needles, you're telling me that I have to inject myself with insulin and I have to check my blood sugars. And I'm sitting here on the phone just shook and stunned, and you don't have anything else to say to me except for like, where do you want your supplies sent and when can we make these appointments? And I just said, I'm gonna have to call back. Like, I have no idea. I don't even know what you just called me and I picked up the phone. I don't know what my schedule looks like. I don't know if I have any, I need to look at my, I gotta look at my life here. And that is just like, I just thought it wasn't, and again, it's not her fault, but I want to tell my doctor, like, if you're gonna give people phone calls like that, like, it would have been helpful to explain, like, just take 1 extra minute to explain what gestational diabetes is, because I had to go to the internet, and mind you, I wasn't able to even meet with that nurse. This was a Monday that I got the call. I wasn't able to meet with the nurse until Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like, I'm sitting there just left to Google, and I still don't really understand what it is. I mean, I'm getting info from the internet, so I guess I understand. But like, that's what I have to do, is I now have to go look it up and ask somebody or ask people, like, what the hell is gestational diabetes? And what does that mean for me? And nobody said anything about that. Like, they don't tell you that. And I just thought that that was such a ripoff and, like, kind of, I don't know what the word is here, but I mean, I guess it really rubbed me the wrong way. And I was really peeved about it because I just felt like I kind of got fucked. Like, you're sitting there on the phone going, what? What does this even mean? So I just feel like they should have explained that. And then, not to mention, she said that it would only be for a few weeks. No, bitch. I gotta do this until I have a baby, which at the time was like, 12 weeks away. Like, that's not 3 weeks and 12 weeks. Big difference for having to stab yourself in the fucking ass or the finger or whatever to take care of this business. It's a big deal. So anyway, I met with the nurse, got all my supplies. She showed me how to do it. I still absolutely hate needles. I don't even know if I would say it's gotten easier. I understand how to do it, but I don't like it. And sometimes it takes me longer than others. Like, there are some moments, most of the time, I sit down to prick my finger and I sit there like hesitating for many, many seconds before I can muster up the balls to just click the little button to poke myself. And I hate it. I hate it so much. My palms are sweaty right now thinking about it. So that I hate. Now, that being said, I also haven't been able to talk to my doctor until today, which I'm about to do. So I'm interested to see what she has to say about all this, because again, they tell you like, oh, we want your numbers to be under 140, like an hour after meals. Okay. But they never really tell you like what your ideal, I mean, like, I don't understand what a good number is. So I want to ask that too. And maybe that's just it. Maybe there's no like perfect number or range. They just want it to be under 140, in which case, fine, I can do that. I have been able to so I've been doing this for a few weeks now, and I have been able to figure out, I didn't have to change much in my diet. I just had to like not eat any crap, for the most part, which is good and bad. I mean, good because I feel good. I feel like a good diet change, and I'm all about healthy eating. Like, anybody who knows me knows that, I don't want to feel like crap anymore. Like, I've been there, done that with my life, and I'm all about like being healthy and like increasing your lifespan and just taking care of yourself. And I also am really a big like one of those cheesy like fit mom, like healthy fit pregnancy people too. So, which is why it was like a shock to begin with that I got this, because I'm like, I eat pretty well, and I probably, as a pregnant person, I eat and exercise better and more than like many people, men, women, pregnant or not. So that's why it was just such a shock to me. So I'm hoping to get some answers today and just get my doctor's perspective on this, because I also, as I've only been left to the internet, all I've read on the internet, is like that you might have to be induced early. You might not even get to go to your induction or like your due date, like all this stuff. So I don't know what any of that means. I need answers, and I'm hoping to get them today. And especially like all of this combined with COVID, I just don't know what any of that means. So this will be a longer video because there's just so much to catch up on. But I will, now I'm pulling into the parking lot and people are so stupid. Like, get a move on, man. I'll catch up later. All right. You hear this? Look how red my face is from the mask. Okay, let's see. So, appointment is done, and I got all my answers, I guess. So first off, I had my doctor check my numbers, all my blood sugar numbers, and she said that she was really impressed with them and that they looked really, really good. She said at this point, like, she's like, I would see no reason at all to go on insulin. So I'm like, thank God. But she did say, so this is interesting because I didn't know this. She said that as your pregnancy continues in the third trimester, especially as the baby gets bigger, she said that just because the placenta will continue to give off like more and more hormones and stuff like that, and honestly, I don't even remember all the medical jargon that she used, but basically it typically, I shouldn't be surprised if my numbers increase a little bit, but she said if you can continue to maintain it with just like a healthy lifestyle, she said there'd be no reason for insulin. So she'll continue to check my numbers at every appointment, and as long as everything continues to be under like the number that they want it to, whatever, 140, that I won't have to go on insulin. That is awesome. Excuse me. I do not want to do that. Blech. But it is what it is. Yeah. And then she said, so she asked how I'm feeling, which, by the way, I am feeling really well. I feel awesome, actually. Like, I'm at the like lowest weight, and of course this is not my goal. Like, I'm not trying to lose weight during pregnancy or anything, or like be a certain weight. But I do feel like I'm taking, and this is aside from the gestational diabetes diagnosis, I do feel like this pregnancy I have taken the best care of myself of all 3 pregnancies. And I feel really good. I'm down, like, I think when I checked the other day, I'm down like 17 or 18 pounds from what I was at 32 weeks with both of the other kids. So I'm on the smaller side, and I really like it. It feels good, and I feel good. I just feel healthy, and not that I didn't with those, but I just, like, now having done the other 2 pregnancies and then having this one again and being this far into my pregnancy, I am surprised at how good I feel. And I just feel like I have a different, I don't know, I've had a different outlook every time, but I have an even different perspective this time around too. Like, part of me is just like fully embracing everything that comes along with this pregnancy, because it is our plan to have this be our last baby and my last pregnancy. So I'm just trying to like soak everything in, and not necessarily trying to rush anything either, and also just to, I don't know, I also like know that life with 3 kids, especially 3 very, very little kids, is going to be insane. So part of me is trying to just like take the best care of myself that I can right now, so I can, you know, be, I guess, in the best condition possible after I have this baby. So if that means that postpartum I'm at a lower weight, great. if that means that I just have really, really solid eating habits like throughout this pregnancy and the rest of it, and then continue that after I have the baby, even better. So I'm feeling really good. I don't really have any big cravings right now. I know I always cover this stuff because people always ask, so I don't have any big cravings right now. I think the biggest thing, like if anything, what I crave is just like snacking. But with the gestational diabetes, that's a little difficult right now. So I find that I'm having to just resist a lot and be very disciplined with the snacks. And we just had Christmas, so that was difficult. On Christmas Day, I did give myself like a total free pass, and I told my doctor about that. I'm like, I was good every other day. Christmas Eve I was good, the day after Christmas, but I just needed I also wanted to kind of experiment a little on Christmas Day and just like eat whatever the hell I wanted, when I wanted, check my blood sugars, and just see what they were at. And like, if they were high, then they were high, because it was a free-for-all. And if they were not, then cool. And I will say, like, for indulging so much, like I had the candy, I had the cookies, I had a caramel roll in the morning. I never went over with my blood sugars. I was always under the standard range number, like the limit. So, I don't know. I don't really know where I was. Oh, cravings. Yeah. So cravings are just not, there's nothing that I'm like, I always want this, I always want that. It's just more like, I more just like crave the ability to freely snack, or just freely eat. Like there's sometimes where I just want one extra thing, or like, especially when I'm eating my first meal of the day, sometimes a piece of fruit sounds really good, but I've been told and have realized that having a piece of fruit first meal of the day that will spike my blood sugar. So that's one thing that, like, I don't eat it. Anyway, sorry, I got a phone call and then I had to go. I haven't had any crazy cravings, but I've been sleeping well, feeling really good. Other than that, that's 32 weeks. I don't know when I'll do another update, because clearly it doesn't really work for me. So maybe I'll do one, I don't know, at like 36 weeks or something. That seems doable. 32, give myself another 4 weeks to get my shit together and do that. So yeah, maybe a 36 week video will come, because I don't know what'll happen between 32 and 36. So I feel like I covered everything. I get cravings, I sleep good, I've been exercising 5 days a week. Yeah, my appointment was Jelly Bean. So I will check back in maybe at 36 weeks then.